Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and today I want to kind of weigh in a little bit on the James Gunn announcement for all the future movies and all that. And not in your typical just, oh, because I feel like most people are like, The Authority, I don't know who that is. Creature Commandos, I don't know who that is. And that's more or less what everyone is saying right now. I want to talk about the greater implications of the entire DC brand because I think the DC brand is really, really hurting right now. So, again, for anyone that may not know, I work at a comic shop. And so I get to see the comics that come in, the comics that we order. I know who has what on their pull list. Um, and with that being said, like, there's so much more comics that come out of Marvel, so many more different types of characters, and to be, completely honest, probably at least half of DC's books are Batman books. And then even stretching out of that, the other books are Batman family books and Batman related books. And DC is kind of just Batman. And if you even really look at DC's big three, you have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And again, things might be different shop to shop, but pretty much nobody reads Superman. Nobody reads Wonder Woman. Even extending to some of the other big DC characters, nobody reads The Flash. Nobody reads Green Lantern. I don't even think there is a Green Lantern book right now. I don't think. Yeah, and what do they have? I mean, because for example, I was talking to Chris about this the other day, and we were trying to think of obscure Marvel characters that can come out and do a little mini series and still do better than a Flash book or Wonder Woman book. And it was crazy to think, even like Kate Bishop did a little mini series last year, and it wasn't crazy sales, but like it did okay, which is more than anything that isn't Batman. And even Batman, I think people are so oversaturated on Batman and they're bored with Batman. Now, granted, there is good Batman stuff. I've myself been enjoying. Zdarsky is working on the main run of Batman, as well as he did a 10-part series called Batman the Knight. I enjoyed that. But I'm not saying it can't be, can't have some good stuff. And even the stuff that I feel like people have more so enjoyed from DC has kind of been just different kind of things like the Deceased and DC versus Vampires and non main continuity stuff, just little fun things. What was that other one with the Knights? Dark Knights of Steel, I think it was called. And it hasn't really been any big focus on any of the characters, like I said, aside from Batman. And usually whenever these preview books come out, I pretty much never go over the DC one, and I always grab the Marvel one and usually go over it during stream. I'm thinking about maybe changing that to where I do a video about them, but I don't know. It's always just kind of a fun thing to do during the stream. But I mean, like if we take a look at any of these books, it's like, oh, and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's their other big character. I forgot to mention that, and I think that's just the character that doesn't even necessarily do that well, but I feel like is a character that you will have a lot of people that get anything and everything she ever does. And like at our shop, we have a couple of people that get all Harley variants of no matter what. So and it's definitely a good strong character for their brand, but even like in comparison, I mean, like, Harley probably didn't pull much different numbers than, like I said, that Kate Bishop miniseries did. And I just think, and I'm not just a Marvel fanboy dunking on DC, I'm also not a fan of the way that they do their layout and the thing. Like, it just feels like they don't even care to, like, really advertise it. Because, like, the one that always is a big one for me is Poison Ivy. And, like, look how small. Like, they show the variant covers, and it's just like, why is there all this extra blue space here? Like, aren't I supposed to care about these comics? And I do. I want to check out these comics, but they're so tiny. Like, I can't even tell, what's really going on in that one. I want to see all the beautiful detail and stuff, but you can't. Um, and anyway, so my point being, like I said, not just a fanboy of Marvel being like, DC sucks. I would like DC to do better. And I think their over dependence on Batman has crippled the brand tremendously. Oh, and by the way, just a quick thing. If you're wondering why I have this two stacks of slabs here, today I was on, I'm filming it today, but I was on Only Slabs over on Rob Fatstack's channel. So if you didn't get to go watch that one, it was a fun time, had a blast doing it. Go check out that video. Showed off all these slabs, and that also means I'll be rearranging my wall here pretty soon. But anyway, I want DC to do better. I've been enjoying DC more recently. I've been adding some books to my pull list. I've been watching more of their television and movies. I really enjoyed the Batman that came out. I know you're talking about just Batman, but I did. I got to be truthful. I really enjoyed the Batman. I love Doom Patrol. I really like the Harley animated show. And that's honestly, like, if you asked me 3 years ago, would I be watching all this DC stuff? I'd probably tell you, no, I'm not going to care about any of that stuff. But I have been trying to check DC stuff out, and when it's good, it's good. Um, I just feel like they need people to know more about their characters. They need to care more about their characters, and I feel like they need to be introducing more characters and trying to do more, because I'm trying to think, Marvel just came out with Bloodline. The daughter of Blade, a cool new Marvel character that a lot of people, you know what, I did my weekly review video, and that video seemed to have a lot more attention than my normal weekly review videos. And, again, I think it's a new character that people have interest in. And I don't know when the last time DC did a character that anybody really cared about. I feel like they forced people to try to like Punchline, and nobody really cared, and then they stopped caring. Um, yeah, and I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest DC guy. I don't know a lot of things about DC, and I don't read a lot of their books. Don't watch a lot of their stuff. Um, so there's probably things that I am missing, yes, but like, again, I work at a comic shop. I hear people talk about things, even if it's stuff that I'm not into myself. I get the buzz, what people are checking out, and I don't feel like I ever hear anything about any new DC characters. Um, and granted, yeah, there might be one here or there that I'm missing. I'm not saying no one. There's never been a new DC character. I'm not saying that. Okay, don't be like, well, what about this guy we talked about for a week? Uh, but my point being with this whole announcement that James Gunn made is, I think it's good. I think there's different ways he could have went. But again, I feel like people are kind of tired of you had one good Wonder Woman movie and then one bad Wonder Woman movie. If you liked it, some people liked it, whatever. But I think general consensus, people didn't like the second one. Um, and so again, don't care about Wonder Woman again. People are really like, there's no way this Flash movie is going to be good, or so many controversies and changes and whatever is going on. They're super worried about that. Um, I don't know. There's so much. I don't want to go through talking about every single DC movie and all the big main characters and all that. And like I said, Green Lantern. That had a terrible movie nobody liked, and hasn't had a fan base pop out of that since then. But you got to think it's always important to remember, like with Marvel, they started with Iron Man, which was like a B tier, C tier character, and made him an A tier character. So we can take, and even James Gunn with Marvel took the Guardians of the Galaxy, probably I would say maybe D tier, before their movie came out, and everybody knows the Guardians now. Everybody loves the Guardians. Most people, really love number one. My personal favorite's number two. I will stand. That's like one of my favorite MCU movies. And I'm super, super excited for number 3. Oh, and the Guardians Christmas special was really fun too. Some people, I think, were like, yeah, whatever, what's the point? I hate that. I feel like that's what everybody says anyway. Well, what's the point? What's the bigger picture? It's like, it was an enjoyable, hour or whatever. Like, that was the point. And there was information we learned from that. But anyway, and Kevin Bacon was in it. But, I think there's a good, strong chance, and so I wrote all these things down because I don't remember. I don't know a lot of these. There are some that I do know. So, like, we have Creature Commandos, a team I don't know about. Looks super cool. I'll definitely check it out. I believe that one is one that James Gunn's writing. So maybe in due time, Creature Commandos will be a household name. We do have Waller, which I believe is a TV show, so we know Amanda Waller already. And I assume she's gonna kind of act as like the Nick Fury type character, and kind of be weaving and working with everybody, and doing all that. He's rebooting Superman with Superman Legacy, which could definitely need a good. I don't know. I'm not a Superman fan. I think it'll be really hard to make something that I care about with Superman, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I will give it a shot. I haven't watched all of Man of Steel because I found it extremely boring. And then I thought Batman vs. Superman looked terrible, so I didn't watch it. And then we have... Oh, God, I can't read my own handwriting. Lanterns. God, that's really bad. Anyway, Green Lanterns, I think, has this really devout fan base, but it is withering and neglected. I think there's a lot of potential for Green Lanterns, and I believe that is going to be a TV show with Hal and John, I believe. So I think that, I think it's going to be a little bit harder to repair the branding of certain characters like Flash and Wonder Woman, that are, a little bit more already tarnished, recently tarnished. But like Green Lantern, for example, has had enough time where it's, and not part of the DCU either, so it's had enough time away that I do think that's a good brand to revitalize. We have the Authority, again, a group that nobody knows. Again, could be a big name. We have Paradise Lost, which I think is a Wonder Woman thing. Again, not a big DC guy, but I think that's a good way to go about it. About still working in the Wonder Woman world, but like, let's kind of shift the focus a little bit and see if we can make her world more interesting. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we have very little details. We have the Brave and the Bold, which is going to be Batman and Damian, which is this is going to be the first Robin we've had in a little while, right? Yeah, I don't think we have had a Robin since like Batman and Robin in the movies, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I think that's the first time we've had a Robin in a while. And I don't know a ton, but from what I do know about Damian, I think that'll be a pretty refreshing take to do. And I think I don't think we've ever had a live action Damian, except for maybe in Titans. I've only watched a little bit of Titans. Again, found it pretty boring and stopped. Booster Gold, I know that's more of like a cult following character. Kind of, I don't know, I can't think, but I know like Booster Gold has his fans, but not a ton. So yeah, just, it's one of those things. You just get the name out there more, and all of a sudden people care about it. Like, it's like, yeah, I've heard of King Shark before, but did I care about him before the Suicide Squad movie? No. So or actually, I guess technically I did, because I liked him in the Harley Quinn animated show. Did I care about him before then? Didn't did a lot of people. So, oh yeah, and then he's got his new Supergirl, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I almost said Wonder Woman of Tomorrow. But yeah, that one is supposed to be like a darker take, which I think is good, because like I'm just not about the clean, polished, I'm strong and I can beat up everybody with it. Super anybody, man, woman, girl, boy, any of them. I mean, that's just a boring character. You know what I mean? So, or if you have a Superman that is kind of like that, and then you pair him with a super girl that contrast and conflicts with him, then that becomes an interesting. Like, for example, I'm not a Captain America guy. I could care less about him, but it was very interesting in Civil War because him and Iron Man butt heads so much, and they have different views and stuff like that. So that's how. Even if you don't like that type of character, and some people do, you know, if you do, you do. It's whatever you like, whatever you want to like. But that's how you draw in even people that don't like that character, is to put them in this interesting situation of conflicting ideas. And it's just boring to be like, I'm the good guy and I beat up bad guys and nothing ever goes wrong, you know? And then the last thing, which I am super excited about, is Swamp Thing. More of a Man Thing guy myself, but I do know there is a bunch of good Swamp Thing material. I do know this is supposed to be a horror. I think it's a movie. I'm pretty sure it's a movie. And I'm a sucker for good horror movies. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. I will definitely want to check that out and see what's going on. But with that being said, it's weird to me that like DCU hasn't tried to do a Swamp Thing, because that has been one of their more successful characters that's had a good, you know, a lot of good runs. People really like that character, really like his stories, and it seems weird to me that you know, they wouldn't try to have already included something like that. But again, I mean, like, the whole DCU was just very rushed anyway. I think there's a good cast of characters here that are recognizable, but need their PR team to boost their numbers. You know what I mean? Like I said, Swamp Thing, Supergirl, Booster Gold to a degree, Damian, you know, Robin, Amanda Waller, I think, is, you know, criminally underused. Definitely a super interesting character and a great actress. Green Lanterns, you know, you have these characters. I don't really know what they're doing with Paradise Lost. I can't really speak on that. But you have these characters that people do know, but are just underutilized. And again, like, I just feel like DC's whole focus, comic-wise and movie-wise, is just Batman. And for the most part, you know what I mean? And I feel like the comics are much more just focused on Batman. There is a lot of other things going on in the movies, but I don't feel like anything really gets a ton of attention. Well, I don't want to say anything, but a lot of things. And I just hope and I wonder that, you know, 10 years from now, or 10 years after James Gunn's DC movies start rolling out and everything, you know, will the whole shape of the DC industry and branding and characters all be different? And, you know, will I know so many more DC characters? And that's not going to come. Again, I'm getting more interest, but it's not because I've just made this movement to, like, I'm going to go check out more DC things. It is because when things come out and they look good to me and I'm interested in them, I will check them out more. So, and, you know, I mean, I know there's the DC fanboys out there that are going to fight me for saying that, but DC's not had a super good reputation. Speaking of the movies, their movies have not had a good reputation for a while. I do think things are getting better. I want things to get better. I am excited to see more characters, and because even like with Marvel characters, I don't know every Marvel character. Like I said, with the Guardians, I didn't know the Guardians, but after that movie came out, I was all about the Guardians. I'm trying to think if there's another movie where I didn't really know the character. I don't know, there probably is, but it's one of those things I can't think of off the top of my head. But like I said, to go back with DC, I knew nothing of the Doom Patrol, and I love that show so much. It is definitely up there as one of my top shows of all the superhero things. You know, it's, for me, it's up there with The Boys and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though that's kind of different. That's probably not written as well, but it's near and dear to my heart. But anyway, and Daredevil and, you know, stuff like that. Like, it is definitely up there. I really love Doom Patrol, and there's no nostalgia. You know, I think there's a lot that people hold on to with nostalgia, and I'm not really that type of person. But, for example, people are going to fight me on this one too. But like that last Spider-Man movie, I don't think was really that good. I think it was fine. I think people just like got their nostalgia, you know, activated when they got to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and whoever else and Willem Dafoe, and yeah, it was fun to see them. But like, I think the cinematography was pretty bland in that movie, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was like the best Spider-Man movie ever. But I feel like there's so many people that reacted that way because of these nostalgia triggers. Um, and yeah, my point being, there's none of that with Doom Patrol. I just love it, every ounce of it for what it is. It introduced itself to me, never met it before, and said, "Hey, I'm an amazing show," and that's what I want more of. I want Creature Commandos to blow me out of the water and make me fall in love with those characters. I want the Authority to make me fall in love with those characters or hate those characters in a good way. You know what I mean? Whatever the goal is. And I'm excited for it. I just want to say that I am excited for it, and I just want to kind of make this little time capsule, so that we can reflect. Because again, in like 10 years, we might all have a different perspective on DC and know all these characters that we didn't know before. Because like now we've been with the Guardians for a little while, and I keep going back to them because that's another good example of characters we didn't know. Most people didn't know, and Guardians are a household name now. And to think, who else is, because I mean, he's got more plans that he hasn't talked about, and I'm really hoping that will also translate into comics, because the amount of like, we get one small box of DC comics a week, where we might get like 3 big boxes of Marvel comics. Well, it's okay, to be fair, it's Marvel and indie comics, but it's mostly Marvel comics. Sometimes they'll be maybe half and half on a really big indie week, but mostly Marvel comics most of the time. And like, I mean, that's kind of pitiful. Even if it was half and half, that's still like a big box and a small box compared to one small box for DC. And I think they need to do more with more of their characters. I've really I've been a big fan, for example, that they took a risk, not a risk, but to them, I think of it, them doing any title that's not a Batman title, I think they feel is a risk. But so to take a risk and do a Poison Ivy title, I thought it was going to be a miniseries, but it turns out it's a ongoing series, and that's awesome. I've been enjoying it. I think it's really cool. And again, I'm happy to read that run and read a different character other than Batman, even though didn't fall too far from the Batman family, but it is what it is. It's something different. And yeah, I mean, it would be really cool to even get more characters that have nothing to do with Batman. You know what I mean? But I mean, as well as Batman characters. I'm not just saying, no more Batman anything, because I'm super excited for the next Batman movie. Super, super excited. But yeah, I'm just saying DC has more characters, and DC needs to develop more new characters as well that people actually resonate with. But that's all I have for today. I would love to know what you all think about this subject. Please, like I said, check out over on Rob Fatsek's channel my episode of Only Slabs if you didn't check that out. Check out, I just did a 25 comic, well, I haven't sent it in yet, waiting on some books to get pressed, but I'm doing a 25 comic CGC submission, so I made a video showing off all the books I'm going to send in there, and then I made a video showing my first ever sketch covers from a very good friend of mine. A very good, very good. Did I say that right? Anyway, and they're really, really fantastic. So if you didn't check out that video, please do. Oh, and also, well, I played the trailer at the beginning of this one. So the my next short film, Embers, is coming out Friday. So a lot of cool things happening. It's been a very busy weekend for me. I'm tired, actually, like mentally drained. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.